Farmers are no strangers to standing up for what matters in D.C., but this year seems a little different. After years of being kicked around and put on hold, Ohio corn and wheat farmer leaders and industry partners have come to the nation's capital with a clear message for Congress. We are done waiting. Go inside the conversations and what's at stake in a special edition of Kernels on the ground in Washington, D.C. It's next. Welcome to Kernels. I'm Tad Nicholson. We're coming to you from the D.C. offices of the National Corn Growers Association, our home base this week, because the Ohio Corn and Wheat is in Washington for our March fly-in, and the timing couldn't be more important. Year-round E15, long overdue farm bill, and protecting important trade deals like USMCA are just a few of the issues we've been talking about this week. Joining me is Eric Tipton, President of Ohio Corn and Wheat Growers Association. Eric, the message from farmer leaders has been very clear. We need action, we need results, and we need it now.
Yeah, that's been the tone all week. I mean, we have, walking into these offices, it's been a little bit different tone. It's a little bit different approach, and we've made it very clear we're swinging for the fences here.
So we came to Washington with a very direct message from Ohio farmers. We're done waiting. Take us inside the meetings that you've had. What exactly are you telling lawmakers, and how are they responding?
The one thing that we're trying to emphasize is really how ugly things are getting out here. I mean, we're getting to the point where we're flat out running out of time, and things like input prices, just asking for some relief and really painting a picture of what things look like in the countryside.
So we've been focused on three priority areas this week: passing E15 now, getting a real 5-year farm bill that addresses today's farm economy, and protecting trade agreements like USMCA. So from your conversations, do you believe Congress is truly ready and understands the urgency that's going on out in the farms today?
Well, I think they're surely ready. I think they have been ready, and our frustration is what's holding this up. They're already a month late on what they had originally promised us with getting an answer on E15. And, we keep saying we need E15 now. There's no question. We need immediate relief here in the countryside. So do I think that Congress is ready? I do, and it's time to act. I do think that they're hearing us. I think that our message has been well received, and I think it's to the point where as we sit in these offices and we sit in these meetings, you kind of get this feeling like, okay, we get it. Like we're going to have to do something here, and mission accomplished.
Do you think they were surprised? Do you think they got it before we came here and kind of described what the situation is on our farms?
I always like the comment that you say, we're a small organization, but we punch well above our weight, and that's kind of how we feel when we walk into these offices, because they know that when farmers get upset and they've had enough, they know things start to happen, and we're to that point.
So if Congress fails to act, what's it mean for the future of our farms?
You're going to start to see a lot of farms go away. You're going to start to see bankruptcies. You're going to start to see folks selling out. I mean, that's where we are.
That's not just lip service either, right? I mean, these are realities.
These are realities. It's happening all across the country, and we're trying to fight for. We're trying to keep that from happening. We're fighting tooth and nail right now, and I do think our time will come. It's kind of like Christmas. I truly believe that we're going to get E15 done. I think that it's going to be worth the wait, but unfortunately, there's going to be a little bit more of a wait.
Yeah, it's not a heavy lift either. It's not something that's very expensive to taxpayers. This is something that costs nothing to Congress, and it could mean a lot to farmers. I think it's worth fighting for.
Well, and that was the first kick in the teeth. Like, this is so easy. This makes sense. This makes sense for everyone. Yeah. So why can't we get this done? And when they kicked it off to the task force, that was just a total punch in the gut.
Yeah.
So now we're mad, and now we're coming at you, and we want things taken care of.
You think they got the point?
I do.
So for the farmers back home, they're frustrated. They're wondering whether their voice even matters. What could they do right now that could really help move all of these issues forward?
Keep the momentum going. Call your congressman, call your congresswoman. Pick up the phone. because, you know, these folks are feeling the pressure. We have full court press on all these folks here in DC, and we need some backup. We need some help from back home, and I think that's the easy button. Pick up the phone.
I think for any of our members listening, I think the message is they want to hear from you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they appreciate getting the feedback from back home. They don't know because they're not on the farm. So for them to understand what's going on the farm, it's important to be heard, and not just by leaders like you who walk into their office. A phone call from somebody back home matters, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you know, the easy button is pick up the phone and call your congressman, call your congresswoman. That's first and foremost. And, you know, not everybody can be experts on agriculture. We're not asking them to be, but they need to hear our voice. There's not as many farmers as there once was, so our voice is small, but when we speak, people listen.
Yeah, you know, the farmers are the ones that are the experts about their farms.
Yes.
And that's what the congressional members want to hear is what's the state of the situation on your farms. No one could better explain that other than the farmers themselves.
It's exactly right. We tend to not tell our story the way that we should sometimes, and now there's no better time. Tell your story, get out there, pick up the phone.
So you've been here for a week. You've been working the Hill. Are you leaving optimistic?
I am. Like I said, it's been a very different tone. In the past, we've come here and it always feels like we do some sort of good when we're here. This time around, it felt like the punches that we've been throwing landed. So
good.
Yeah, feel pretty good.
Eric, thanks for all you did this week. Thanks for everything that you're doing for Ohio Corn and Wheat.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Ted.
When we come back, standing up for farmers and supporting the future, the mission continues in Washington, D.C.
Farming isn't just a job, it's the foundation of life. Farmers feed us, fuel our future, and pass down traditions built on hope and hard work. At Farm Credit Mid-America, we know farming is more than a profession, it's a legacy. That's why we stand shoulder to shoulder with farmers, offering agricultural loans, insurance, and education. Because we're not just here for farmers, we're owned by them. Farming matters, and we're proud to honor it every day.
When it comes to issues like passing E15, the Farm Bill, USMCA, Ohio farmers aren't alone in the fight. We have strong partners standing by our side. One of those partners is Farm Credit Mid-America. Joining me now is Rudy Pitzer-Perry, Regional Vice President of Ag Lending for Farm Credit. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, Dad, for having me.
Rudy, Farm Credit Mid-America didn't have to be here this week, but you did, and that says something. Why was it important for you to be a part of this Ohio Corn and Wheat fly-in to Washington?
Well, a couple of things. First, just from the sheer standpoint of the issues, our growers' issues are our issues too, right? We want them to be successful, so it's really important for us to stand beside partners like you and with our growers in those in that fight. But also, being here in DC specifically with you guys this week is very important for us to be able to speak to the work you're doing with our growers and how you're advocating for them.
From where you sit, how important is it for Congress to deliver the results on these issues, asking for E15, asking for a farm bill sooner rather than later?
It's essential, right? We need security in our ag industry. I think it's pretty widespread across the industry. People would much rather have things like free trade, access to markets, than really government payments or anything like that. So all of our growers and Farm Credit with them really would need these issues passed and some action taken to help secure our future.
So as you and your team get out and about, what are you seeing out on Ohio farms?
I mean, there are real concerns. We've gone through several years now of down prices. Customers are really feeling it. The first couple years, we had some strength in the balance sheet to be able to absorb some of those losses. And so now it's starting to really pinch. And lately, a huge concern is just access to fertilize is a real big issue now as well.
Yeah. As you head back to the office next week, how does being here in Washington, D.C., being a part of these conversations, help you better serve your customers?
I will have a much better line of sight to speak to where these issues stand, how our legislators here in Ohio feel about them, where they stand, and the work that their commodity groups like Ohio Corn and Wheat are doing to advocate for them.
Yeah, so as you think about the future of agriculture, why does it matter that we're here pushing on these issues on behalf of farmers?
Because we need to have access to markets. We need to update our security net programs from things like the Farm Bill. And if we don't do it now, it's just going to have a detrimental impact, and we're going to continue to kick the can down the curb.
Yeah, I always say we no one is going to do our talking for us, right? We're going to have to do it ourselves. Rudy, thanks for joining me here, and thanks for being here with us in Washington, D.C.
Thank you.
Every business makes its own path, and every future comes with tough decisions. Whether you're planning for tomorrow, protecting the people you love, or building something meant to last, you deserve advisors who understand your world. At Element, we know your business is personal. We take the time to listen, to learn what matters most, and to protect what you've worked so hard to build. Let's take the next step together. Visit elementrisk.com today to get started.
Well, that's a wrap for this edition of Kernels. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel so you always stay up to date. You can also follow us on Facebook and our other social media channels for more great conversations and content.